Okay, good evening everyone. My name is Anushka and I am a member of the core team of GDSC AKGEC. It's been 1 year since I was recruited into the managerial domain of this fantastic club and it has enhanced my learning as an individual. I welcome you all to the info session of Compose Camp. This is the first session of Android Study Jams and today we will be giving an introduction to Android development and Jetpack Compose. But more on that later. For now, I would like to commence the session with a brief introduction to GDSC and what exactly it does. Google Developer Students Club are community groups for college and university students interested in Google Developer technologies. Students from all undergraduate or graduate programs who are interested in growing as a developer are welcome to join this club. So, what does GDSC do? GDSC majorly encourages peer to peer learning that could help you link theoretical concepts and hands on experience. Connect, learn, and grow is a motto we, the members of the GDSC family, have always vouched on. GDSC spurning the notions of hierarchy, we connect as developers, learn as enthusiasts, and grow as individuals. Hence, I would like to conclude that GDSC is an exclusive community for college students. The foremost requisite for joining GDSC is that you and your team should have the zeal to grow as a community with the help of tech aids provided by Google. So, let's get into it. Over to Shiansh.
So thank you, Anushka, for the introduction. I hope all of you are fine. A very good evening to all of you, my friends. You are very much welcome to this compose session, info session of this compose camp. So first of all, I want to tell you this will be a very exciting journey for all of you. You can tell your excitement in the comment section. How many of you are excited for this session? You can show your excitement, your enthusiasm towards this compose camp in the comment section. Uh, Starting with Android. What is Android? Because compose camp is mainly related to Android. You might be thinking of what do we learn in that. So before that, I want to give you a brief introduction about Android platform. This is a cute mascot of Android. You all are I think, familiar with this because it is a very common platform you all are using in your smartphones right now because 80% of users, smartphone users are Android users. It's a very powerful operating system. Giving a brief introduction of Android. Android is a mobile platform. The thing that I need to focus on, I need to emphasize on, is that it is a Linux based platform. All of you who are cyber security enthusiasts might be knowing about Linux. Linux is very important for all of you guys to understand because Linux is a very powerful operating system. And coming back to Android, Android is based on Linux platform. It was primarily designed for smartphones and tablet devices, and it was released on 23rd of September 2008. Definitely, it is not an older operating system; it's a very new operating system, and that is the reason. That is one of the reasons why it is in current trend and beneficial for you in your career towards development, your career as a developer. So this was a brief introduction of Android. Okay, now you have learned what is Android. Okay, Android is a platform used in your smartphones and tablets, touchscreen mobile devices, etc. So what is the need of that? So coming on to the main concern of developer community, you all are budding developers. So the main concern is not Android. Android is for common users. You need to focus on Android development right here. The reason for which you are here in this camp. This is Android development. So telling something about Android development, Android apps were initially developed using Java language. It's a very common language used since many years of revolution. Initially, Android applications were developed using Java language, but at Google Input Output 2017, for all of those who don't know what is Google Input Output, I want to tell you Google Input Output is an annual session conducted by Google to give all of technical updates to the world. There are different companies have different annual sessions for them, and similarly, Google has an Google Input Output. So in 2017, at Google Input Output, Google announced an official support for Kotlin language for building native Android apps. The main reason behind why Kotlin was supported officially by Google is that simply it is easier to code. It has lesser number of lines of code, so it accelerates the process of development. And one thing to notice here, quote my words, one thing to notice here is that Kotlin is not a language developed by Google, backed up by Google. So why it is supporting that? Because Kotlin is made by JetBrains, a company all of you being from a developer community might be familiar with. It is a company which has made IDE softwares like IntelliJ, PyChar, Android Studio, etc. Being an Android developer, you might be working on Android Studio as well. So Google only supported Kotlin because Kotlin is very much easier to code as compared to Java, although it uses XML for native user interface development. So gradually we are moving towards lesser lines of code so that we can focus more on development rather than just debugging our code. That's the reason Kotlin is more beneficial. And as I already told you, Android is just a recent platform. It's not an older one. It has become came in trend in the recent decades. So it's very easy to cope up for the developer community using Kotlin because Kotlin is easier to code. Now, again, giving a brief introduction to Android because definitely you all are familiar with Android, being a common user, not only because you are belonging to the developer community, but also you are a common user. You might be familiar with Android, but still there are some points which are worth noticing about Android. So, Android is a Linux-based platform, as I told you earlier. It is primarily made for touchscreen mobile devices, and approximately in 2011 to 2012, there was a kind of flood of touchscreen mobile devices, and that flood of touchscreen mobile devices and tablet computers had came simultaneously with the introduction of Android operating system. So Android was a marvelous revolution-causing operating system, you can say. Most of the innovations are due to Android. Most of the startups, you can say, are in the form of Android apps. You can understand which startups I'm talking about, like Zomato, Swiggy, etc. So, Android Inc. was founded by in Palo Alto, California, in October 2003. See, since October 2003, it was introduced, and moreover, earlier applications were developed in Java language, and due to Java language, the application development was comparatively faster as compared to earlier technologies. In July 2005, Google acquired Android Inc. for at least $15 million. Although currently most of the smartphone making brands are using Android, so they all have a right to interfere in any changes made to the interface of Android. And there's an international community. All of the smartphone making brands, major brands, are a part of which. But major decisions related to Android are taken by Google because Google is the parent company now of Android. Android Inc. was founded by Andy Rubin, Rich Miner, Nick Sears, and Chris White. So this was a brief introduction. I hope you are gradually, with the time, you are getting more and more excited about learning Android development. I hope I'm right. You can show your excitement in the comment section as well because I want to inculcate an innovative developer inside you. Trust me, being on the journey towards being an Android developer is very interesting. If you include a still innovator, a developer inside you, so show your excitement to the developer community. Show your excitement and enjoy the introduction to Android. Now, you might be thinking of, okay, we know we are Android developers, but we are here for placement. We are here just for getting some kind of job, and for jobs, we need to do web development. You are definitely right. You might be thinking about why to learn Android development. So, trust me, bro. All of you guys, I want to tell you that why is the need of Android development. The simple reason is that Android is a very common platform. Android platform is used by more than 80% of the smartphone users globally. So the basic reason is that it gives you a reach to wider audience. So let's take an example. Suppose you have a very great innovative idea, an admirable innovative idea. Suppose you can say you have developed a software which detects harmful global warming causing gases using satellites data. It is admirable and admired by many organizations. But now comes the question, how will you make your application reach to a large amount of audience? The answer to this question is Android. Simple and soberly Android, because Android is a platform which is used by millions of users worldwide. You do not have to do anything, just put your innovation in the form of an Android application on the Google Play Store. Millions of users will install your application, and bang, your application will be used by millions of users. Your innovation will be famous within months. And That's one of the biggest reasons why you should opt for Android development. Development. Secondly, for a career point of view as well, it's very important because Android, most of the businesses currently have their Android apps, and Android development is in current trend because all the businesses prefer increased customer experience, and increased customer experience can be reached due to the wider reach of Android. So definitely, for, for a career point of view, even if you are a job seeker, you can learn Android development because it will be a plus point for your resume. It will boost up your resume as well. Now coming on to, okay, you need to learn Android development. What is for us in this camp? What is this Compose camp? What is this stuff? You might be thinking about that. Trust me, this is going to be a very important and very exciting session because Compose camp is something which can change your life as a developer. Compose Camp is a community organized event focused around how to build Android apps using Jetpack Compose. I'll come to know what is Jetpack Compose in the later slides. But first, you need to understand what you will get in this session. You all attendees will get hands-on coding experience with Compose. Jetpack Compose is a toolkit which accelerates your development. How it will accelerate your development, I will be telling later on. So you will get hands-on coding experience on Compose, the latest technology backed up by Google. So it will be very beneficial for you. Do join this session. Now coming on to your next question, which might be in most of your minds. What is Jetpack Compose? Why should we learn this? So Jetpack Compose is Android's modern toolkit for building native user interface. I hope you might be familiar with what is Flutter and what is hybrid framework and what is native framework. Hybrid means you can develop softwares for multiple platforms like iOS, Android. You might be familiar with Flutter framework, which uses Dart language. It is a hybrid framework. On the other hand, native frameworks are those which develop applications for a specific operating system. Like for iOS, you need Swift or Objective C. Earlier, Objective C was used, and nowadays Swift is used. For Android, native native user interfaces are designed using XML, and Kotlin is currently in trend to be used for native Android development. Earlier, Java language was used. I hope if you are budding Android developers, you might be familiar with this. So coming on to Jetpack, what is Jetpack? So Jetpack is a suite of libraries. It is a group collection of libraries, you can say, and Compose is a library of Jetpack. So what does this library do for us? Why do we should learn that? So Jetpack Compose simplifies and accelerates native UI development in Android. See, you do not need to focus more on how your apps looks now. You can say bye bye to XML because if you are budding Android developer, you might be familiar with the complexities of XML. XML is a very complex language, and it can confuse your mind a lot while in the development process. So you can say bye to XML now because Jetpack Compose is something which can accelerate your development. It will provide you very powerful tools to develop very beautiful user interfaces for you, and you do not need to worry about how your app looks. You can only focus on the development part. You can focus on adding new features into your app, and you can focus on adding new innovative ideas to your application. You do not need to worry about how your app looks. So that is the benefit of Jetpack Compose. It uses a single code base Kotlin to make powerful UI. That's the reason why I'm repeatedly saying you can say bye bye to XML because using Jetpack Compose, you can use Kotlin only for developing your native user interfaces. So learning this Jetpack Compose will be very beneficial for you if you are embarked on your journey towards Android development because this is not a very older tool. See, this was just introduced as per my knowledge in about February of 2019. Google officially announced that it is launching Jetpack Compose. So it is a newer and trendy technologies, and as you know, it is used to build powerful applications. In the forthcoming years, you will see a special trend of increasing demand of Compose developers. So if you are embarked on your journey towards Android development, Compose learning is a must for you. Definitely, because in the forthcoming years, this is going to be a very trendier technology. If you look at the recent trends, this is a cute symbol of Jetpack Compose. You can see, you might be familiar with that if you are connected to the developer community. Now, you might be again thinking, is Compose Camp similar to Android Study Jams? So my answer is yes. If you are familiar with Android Study Jams, uh, the learning format is same. Android Study Jams is an event conducted by Google Developer Students Clubs all around the globe. The different student chapters of Google Developer Student Clubs, organize Android Study Jams to inculcate a feeling of innovative mindset and developing innovative ideas, implementing innovative ideas in the form of Android apps, and embarking on the inculcating an inside Android developer inside the students. The main aim of Google is to promote Android development among the students. So it's a group of people coming together to do hands-on learning for a specific Android topic, a topic which is specifically related to Android development. Just like a study group, you will learn things just like a study group, and on specifically those topics which are related to Android. So you might be thinking again, what is the difference between Compose Camp? How is it different to Android Study Jams when we are only learning Android? So it will be primarily focused on Jetpack Compose library, because definitely in the recent years there is a significant increase in the number of Android developers, but Compose is something which is new to the world of Android developers. So Google is primarily focusing on well, the budding developers who should learn how to use Jetpack Compose library to accelerate their development. It is a newer modern toolkit developed by Google. So Google wants to emphasize the use of Compose in your journey towards Android development. So as with Android Study Gems, there are plenty of materials and curriculum. Similarly, within Compose Camp, you will get plenty of materials, excellent developers, excellent mentors to guide you how to work and develop your applications using Jetpack Compose. And you will love this session. Trust me, it will be very exciting session if you are really embarked on your journey towards Android development. Now coming on to what are the benefits of Jetpack Compose. Again, you might be thinking, okay, we need to learn Jetpack Compose. It is a trendier technology, but why to learn a new thing when we can develop your applications using XML? We will learn XML from online sources like YouTube, Udemy, etc. What is the need? So I want to emphasize on 4 points. Trust me, on deeply understanding these 4 points, you will in depth understand why it is important to learn Jetpack Compose. First of all, as you all know, it has lesser code. Do more with less code and avoid entire classes of bugs. The more is the number of lines of code, the more are the chances of bugs. And trust me, if you will gradually with time, when you will develop Android apps, even without Jetpack Compose, you will come to know that most of your time and most of your excitement, in fact, to develop Android apps and to implement your innovative idea is consumed by bugs. You will find that most of your time is engaged in debugging your applications, and you will worry about that if you are even facing some kind of deadlines, kind of task as well. So it will allow you to use lesser code, so you do not need to worry about more and more bugs. There will be simple bugs which you can easily remove, and after that you can focus on completely on development and adding new features to your application. And you do not need to worry about how your application looks, how your users interact with the application. Rest of all the things will be controlled by Compose. This is the main reason why you should use Compose, because gradually we are moving towards lesser lines of code. Even when you are a child, you might be understanding why Python is preferred over Java, because gradually with time we are moving towards more projects developed using Python. The reason behind that is that Python has lesser number of lines of code and it is easier to code. Similar is the case with Android development. See, earlier you used Java, then you embarked on Kotlin, and because Kotlin has a lesser number of lines of code, and after that you even can say bye bye to XML, because you can use now Jetpack Compose, this latest library backed up by Google. Secondly, it is intuitive. Just describe your user interface and Compose takes care of the rest. You do not need to worry what how your app looks. You can only focus on your development. I'm repeatedly emphasizing on this statement is because sometimes we are often worried about how your app looks. Even if you have a brilliant innovative idea, user do not interact with your application nicely because your user interface is not up to a particular excellent level. So that's the reason why you should use Jetpack Compose. You do not need to worry about your user interface. Definitely, with these 2 points, lesser number of code, lesser chances of bugs, and intuitiveness of Jetpack Compose, you do not need to take care of any user interface, how your app looks. It definitely accelerates the process of development. Jetpack Compose is compatible with all of your existing code, so you can adopt when and where you want. You can iterate fast and live previews and full of Android Studio support. The last but not the least, Jetpack Compose is a very powerful tool. You can create beautiful apps with direct access to Android platform APIs and built-in support for material design, dark theme, animations, and more. There are many great features in current trend nowadays. If you are connected to the developer community, you might be familiar with the Flutter framework, uh, which is famous for making powerful user interfaces. Similarly, for native developers, Google has developed this toolkit so that they can equalize themselves with Flutter developers and they can use Jetpack Compose to make beautiful user interfaces. And there are many great features. Let me give you an example. There is a great feature called Dynamic App Icon. It is a recent feature, and if you are using Samsung smartphones, you might be aware with that there is an application called Samsung Clock, which features dynamic icon change. Suppose the time is 4 o'clock currently, so you will see that the clock icon definitely shows the hands of the clock are in a way that they show the actual time, 4 o'clock. When you will change the screen and return to the icon of clock app, you will see that the timer has changed, and suppose it's 4 hours 5 minutes. So the hands of the clock will actually show 4 hours 5 minutes. So this is something called dynamic icon change, and it is a very uh, trendy development process nowadays. If you are connected to the developer community, you might be familiar with it. So similarly, there are many more features to implement and to use in these newer technologies. Gradually, with time, when you will explore these technologies like Flutter, like Jetpack Compose, you will come to know about these beautiful features, and you can implement them to boost up your impression, the first impression of your innovative idea, implemented in the form of an Android application. So, I think I have convinced you a lot on the reasons behind why you should learn Jetpack Compose. Now, you might be thinking about, okay, we will learn Jetpack Compose. It is very beneficial for us to learn. Okay, we learned it. But sir, what is the need to learn it in the Compose camp only? We can learn it from plenty of sources like YouTube, Udemy, etc. So my answer is, my friends, definitely you can learn. But there are some special reasons for Compose camp. Okay, the main reason behind why I'm emphasizing to learn these things in Compose Camp is that you will learn about the basics of Jetpack Compose library first of all. Secondly, you will learn about the designing of user interfaces for your Android app without using XML, using Compose. Compose is a trendier tool. And one thing which I need to emphasize on is that you have often seen, if you are developing your Android apps and learning development tools, you might be knowing that YouTube does not offer a structured form of information. Even I, as a developer, face this issue that I did not got. Even currently, I face this issue that I didn't get. I often do not encounter structured knowledge on YouTube, and that's one of the major reasons why you should learn such technologies in camps, because these camps will give you live sessions and excellent developer communities along with excellent mentors who will guide you throughout the session for your technologies and all your doubts. You can ask any of your doubts and you will learn in a structured manner. And this structured form of information will not be provided by YouTube, so-called YouTubers, and Udemy courses. Although Udemy provides some structured information, but live sessions give you real-time access to doubt clearing sessions. So that's one of the major reasons why you should learn such things in camps. Moreover, another main point which I want to emphasize on is that you will get a hands-on experience on building native UIs. Suppose you are building native UIs in this Compose camp. You are part of this Compose camp, and definitely I believe most of you will be. So you have a doubt, you have an error facing on. So you will have an excellent team of mentors and developers. You will guide you how to clear that error and how to get your code bug free. Trust me, after this session, your developer life will change a lot because you will learn how to implement Jetpack Compose and you will learn how to make beautiful native user interfaces. These projects can be implemented and you can show them in your resumes. You can show them to the companies, and the beautiful user interfaces will give a striking impression to your resume, to your profile. So this is the thing that you will learn in this compose camp. So I hope you all might be convinced, and you all are very excited to embark on your journey towards being an Android developer, and you all will register for compose camp. A very thank you for patiently listening to me. Now I will be sharing a QR code in the next slide, and you can scan this QR code using all of our apps like Google Lens, etc. You can scan this QR code and fill the Google form after that to register yourself for the compose camp. This is the QR code, and you can register for the sessions. All of you who are interested, and trust me, this is going to be a very beneficial session. So you need to uh, join the session definitely, because it will give you a striking impression to your profile, as you will develop real time doubt clearing sessions will be there, and real time applications will be developed by you yourself. So it will be a very beneficial experience for you. So scan this QR code. I'm waiting for your response.
Okay, guys, so you can fill the Google form by scanning the below QR code. Once you have scanned the QR code, kindly give the confirmation in the chat box. Okay, guys, so this was all from our side. We hope that you enjoyed our session. If you're having any doubts, you can DM us on Instagram, or you can ask your queries on Discord. These are the following links. If you're having any query, you can go on these links and ask your queries. You can DM us on Instagram. Please feel free to DM us on Instagram. We will be responding there. Okay, guys, so this was all from our side. You can also go on the link tree, which is in our bio in the Instagram, or the link tree link is given in the chat box. There you can find all the links of LinkedIn, Discord, and other platforms. I hope that everybody has scanned the QR code. Okay, guys, so this was all from our side. Hope you enjoyed the session. And if you're not having any queries, you can leave the meet.